You won't believe what Angel Reese did this time. I mean, imagine you're playing a basketball game and your opponent decides to smack you in the head. You wouldn't always expect that from professional basketball, but that is exactly what Angel Reese did to Caitlyn Clark. Well, let's get into it. Clark stunned everyone with an electrifying performance when she first appeared on stage. But hold on, things got crazy. You won't believe the shocking turn of events when Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark faced off. Imagine a high-stakes WNBA match with everyone watching closely, and then suddenly Reese delivers a blow that shocks them all. After all, she actually smacked Caitlyn Clark's head on the court. So what in the world happened to cause this serious moment? What effects did Reese's unexpected actions have? And how did one of the league's most captivating talents, Clark, react to this stupid situation? We'll go deep into the drama and see how Clark managed to turn the tables despite the chaos. You won't want to miss how this intense rivalry reached an extreme point and what it means for these two dominant players' futures. Stay tuned, like and subscribe to catch up on every aspect of this thrilling fight and what happened next. You really have to witness this sports drama to believe it, I promise. Let's get started. Since their college days, these two have been at it, making every battle an exciting event to witness. But what exactly happened was that Angel Reese decided to take things to a whole new level against Caitlyn Clark. Sound strange? Right. Imagine the drama, the history, and the intensity building up to this one game. And then, as if by magic, Reese hits Clark over the head. What happened? I promise you that this is the type of event that people will be discussing for years to come, so you'll want to stay put. Caitlyn Clark was the center of attention when the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever hit the floor. She didn't take long to show why she was selected first overall. She took charge from the opening tip, destroying opponents and making layups with a perfect balance of grace and force. She clearly showed her strength in the game. She even gets better right when you thought she couldn't. Aaliyah Boston arranged the screen so well that Clark had the exact amount of room she required to get one of her famous shots. She was only getting warmed up. Clark scored 7 points at the end of the first quarter, but it wasn't all about the scores. She was all over the place, challenging shots, interfering with defensive plays, and establishing an atmosphere for what was going to be one of the most talked about games in WNBA history. What about Angel Reese though? What followed that moment of shock? What was Clark's response? The best is still to come, so stick with me while this competition is far from over. You're not going to believe what happened in this match. Caitlyn Clark was putting up points on the court, directing the Fever's attack like a pro, and setting up her teammates with brilliant passes. But in the last part of the third quarter, everything changed. Angel Reese unexpectedly appears behind Clark as she pushes hard for the basket. Reese strikes Clark in the head though, rather than just deflecting the shot. Is that true? The referees viewed the action again after calling a foul right away. A review soon proved that what had begun as a minor foul was an evident one. This is when things start to become pretty interesting. With 13 rebounds thus far in this game, Reese is a rebounding machine, grabbing 13.5 rebounds on average every contest. To what extent did she miss that block then? Did she truly mean to hit Clark? Or was it just an accident? Here's the thing though, Clark wasn't shaken by anything. The Fever led 65-62 as she calmly approached the free throw line and attempted both. What Caitlyn Clark did next will shock you. Clark was unstoppable in the last seconds of the game, scoring 9 points in just 5 minutes. Yes, she raised her game and proved to everyone why she's an outstanding competitor. Even though Clark and Angel Reese had a strong rivalry, Clark wasn't going to back down. Clark chose to use the incident as motivation rather than let it weigh heavily on her, returning even more focus to prove to everyone that she was not going to back down. How about changing the roles? Meanwhile, Angel Reese proved to be a strong competitor. After making an incident earlier, she received her 4th personal foul and was temporarily removed from the bench. Reese was back on the floor at the beginning of the 4th quarter though, because Sky head coach Teresa Weatherspoon had trust in her. The drama didn't end there, as Reese was immediately called for a 5th foul, forcing her to return to the bench. With a little over 5 minutes remaining, Reese made a comeback with the game on the line. And guess what? Clark refused to take the easy way out when Marina Maybury of Chicago Sky attempted to shake her with a screen. Rather, she fought through the screen and showed her defensive abilities. What was the outcome? Clark showed she's a great player who is up for any challenge by making a perfect defensive play. What Caitlyn Clark did in the last few minutes of this game will shock you. Clark scores 9 points in 5 minutes. How's that? She had electric energy and wasn't going to allow Angel Reese's presence to get to her. And speaking of Reese, what do you know? She continued to play straight after receiving her 4th foul, increasing the excitement even more. But wait, things got even stranger when Reese was forced to sit out after receiving her 5th foul. Isn't that level of dedication amazing? What was the real twist though? Just over 5 minutes remained before Reese returned to the game. Clark, meantime, had no choice but to prove her critics wrong. What do you say to a pick and roll with Aaliyah Boston? Boston was able to easily lay up after Clark's excellent pass. But what followed was truly astounding. Clark made a huge 3-pointer with the game on the line to give the Fever an 84-77 advantage. advantage. Can you imagine the excitement in the crowd? Clark proved to be an outstanding player with her 23 points, which included those crucial threes. In addition to giving the Fever back-to-back wins over their rivals, their 91-83 victory set the tone for an exciting season. That's a pretty good influence, huh? The numbers Caitlyn Clark put up this time will amaze you. Imagine a rookie who blocks 2 shots, pulls down 8 rebounds, and assists 9 other players in addition to scoring. That's correct. Clark is the first rookie in WNBA history to achieve these figures because of how exceptional her play was. What kind of influence may such a game have? The drama doesn't end there, though. Angel Reese spoke about the call after the game. She expressed her disapproval very loudly, particularly about the clear foul call during the collision with Clark. In her post-game interview, Reese didn't hold back, stating, "I can't control the refs. They clearly had a big impact on tonight's game." So what are your thoughts? Was Reese too aggressive, or was she just showing intense rivalry? She's become quite the controversial character in the WNBA because of her risky attacks. While some believe she may be going too far, others regard her as a great competitor who ups her game in the match. However, Clark's performance managed to further establish her reputation. She shows her potential by her ability to remain composed under pressure and make critical plays when her team needs her the most. Ultimately, the game ended with a tight 91-83 score. Reese had a big contribution from the sky despite her foul trouble, but Clark's smart moves and scoring were essential to the Fever's victory. This game was simply one more episode in their ongoing struggle, which is becoming more and more serious. For these two celebrities, what's next? The excitement around Caitlyn Clark's most recent fight with the Chicago Sky is incredible. Were the Fever overconfident after their most recent victory, or were the Sky out for revenge? It was clear that something extraordinary would happen as soon as Clark took the court. She wasted no time in making an easy step-back three-pointer off the opening tip. But hold on, things are getting better yet. By the time the first quarter ended, Clark was performing to everyone's excitement. Recall how Tiffany Mitchell found her completely exposed? With seemingly no effort, Clark hit a long three-pointer to give the Fever the lead. However, Clark's talent went beyond only scoring. She was playing chess in the second quarter while everyone else was playing checkers. Thanks to Clark's strategy, Alanta Smith made an easy layup, and just before halftime, Clark made a great pass to Courtney Wallace for another layup. That's how you make plays. There was incredible chemistry between Clark and Aaliyah Boston as the game moved into the fourth quarter. Their teamwork was visible when Boston's perfect screen allowed Clark to make another three-pointer. Clark continued to build momentum with a catch and shoot and another long three. At that time, could you imagine the Fever leading by 12 points? But the Chicago Sky made an incredible comeback just when you felt you had the game won. With barely 3 minutes remaining, they knotted the score at 82. Then, with time running down and the score at 84-84, Angel Reese made a clutch basket to put the Sky ahead and secure an 88-87 victory. An incredible, suspenseful ride. Clark gave a really outstanding performance, despite the Fever's defeat. With 7 of her 13 assists going to Boston, who finished with 18 points of her own, she finished with 17 points. What kind of chemistry could exist between these two? It's not just about the game, though. Bigger concerns are causing chaos throughout the WNBA, from arguments over charter flights to Clark's rejection from Team USA for the Olympics in Paris. The competition between Clark and Reese continues to grow due to these scandals, which are fueling the flames. However, the real question is, though, how much is too much when it comes to rivalry? When does winning become more risky than it has to be? Although Caitlyn Clark handled the situation gracefully, what if things have turned out differently? Is there a chance that this happening could change our views of sportsmanship in sports? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on our future videos where we dive into even more highly skilled players in the world of the NBA. We've got more gripping basketball stories, breakdowns, and analysis coming your way. See you in the next one.